What is up, Ball Reviews? Keegan here, and we're back with the first ball review of the new year. That being the Storm Spectre. And of course, this is my first non-Brunswick brand review that I've ever done. So, kind of interesting to get to know the Storm kind of cover system and cores just all over again. But let's talk about the ball. Has a 2.54 RG and 050 differential in the vector core, not the tensor core. I had to re-record this a few times. And the vector core, if you don't know, looks like this. And that is based off the tensor core from the Insight, just making it symmetric. And of course, it raised the RG a little bit. Differential, I'm pretty sure is about the same, but they're close. And pairing that core with the R3S Pearl cover stock, and especially at 1500 grit polish, is going to give you what I would say is the quintessential Storm reaction. Gets down the lane, snaps. At least on paper. We're going to see when we get to the lanes. But let's talk about what else I'm going to be throwing today. I'm going to be throwing the Zen. It's just another symmetric pearl that's been really popular lately, so I think that it would be apt to, have them both out there, see what the difference is. Because there would I know for a fact there would be overlap in a 3-ball bag, but in a 6-ball bag, maybe there's no separation if you really like the different shapes. But we won't know until we head on the lane, so let's go do that. Alright, now that we're actually out here on the lane, this is not the best shot. I kind of ignored it, but still a strike the first ball I threw with this one. But now that we're actually out here on the lane, you can see exactly how the ball is rolling and how it really seems like the cover's response to friction is what's getting the ball into a roll versus the core forcing into one. And you'll see later on, whenever I get it outside a little bit, it just rolls that, it starts to roll that a little bit earlier, which does cause it to overhook, but really that's okay. Because on maybe some with a little bit more volume or some a little tougher, hey Randy, how's it going? But on some a little bit tougher, you could actually use that friction to get just that little bit more roll into the pocket, which I could see you needing with how this ball rolls, because on a house shot it's great whenever you have that extra friction on the back end, but something a little bit longer, either surface or you'll have to actually have that friction on the outside in order to get it to really go through the pins the proper way. That being said, I absolutely love this reaction, and because I like playing the line that I am playing here, just keeping it in the oil and kind of in front of me, not really swinging it a whole lot, I probably will be throwing this ball at League a ton. And honestly, this is the most I've struck, or at least hit the pocket, in a while when I was filming it. I'm having to just kind of think of things to say as we go on here, just because of how good this ball looked. Playing from straighter with the Zen here, you really see that it's the cover making the ball roll versus the core, just because of how early it actually starts to hook when playing in the friction. However, moving farther left, the ball really starts to get into its comfort zone, where there's enough oil to get it down the lane and not have it rolling as early. As I'm playing 5th arrow there, and it looks still phenomenal. Moving to the Zen, it just was not the right ball for these conditions. It was just too smooth, but also too responsive at the same time. If I tried playing around it or anywhere close to straight, it just was not the right ball. But let's head back to me later and talk about this Spectre just that little bit more. Alright, getting back from the lane now, getting back from the bowling alley now, I really like the Spectre. For me, on that house shot that we have, it's real controllable off the spot, and I included a few shots in there that I got just I got it right early, because that's typical miss that you're going to make. Just a few boards right early. And on our house shot, it caused it to read up early, but if you see, it doesn't just check, it just starts to roll earlier, which does cause it to overhook a little bit, but it's nice to know that it's not going to really jump off of the friction, but it will respond to it, which is something that I really like the distinction of. And so I have a ranking system, which I will be explaining in a video that I've either right before this or right after this, but definitely before the Idle Helios video that's going to be coming out, because I haven't thrown that ball yet. And essentially, quick rundown. 1 is the first ball out of your bag, strongest, heaviest, just most hooking ball. And then 6 is going to be the weakest. 6 will typically be urethane, and 5 will be weak reactive, but it's also going to be more of a breakdown. I'll explain it in the video. But I would put it in a solid 3 ball, just kind of, not, I won't say benchmark type shape, because it's not a benchmark shape. It's much sharper than a benchmark should be, but it's that same strength overall. So I would put it at a 3 angular type shape, which is a shape that I haven't really had in a while. It's definitely weaker than like the Zen or another ball that I've had before. Like it's weaker than the Web Pearl as well. Web Pearl was a lot sharper. But this ball gave me a shape that I really liked, and I can see thriving on sport conditions whenever there's that little bit of friction that maybe your sharper stuff or stronger cover stuff is just kind of reading too much. The Spectre has enough length to it where it can take advantage of that without overreacting. And I think a good complement to it, just something to start off with and then move into the Spectre, would be like a Phase 2. Just like start with Phase 2, be a little bit straighter with it, and you'll be able to, as you're moving left, be able to jump into the Spectre. I feel pretty seamlessly with the friction that a Phase 2 can create. Or if you're looking for something on the Brunswick side of things, if you're not like brand specific, a power torque would actually not be a terrible option for a first ball and then transition into the Spectre once you need more angle. But I've been seeing ball reviews for the first time, now reviewing a Brunswick ball in a minute, and oh shoot, I missed again. Hope I don't miss y'all next time. Thank you for watching.